In this lecture, we're going to introduce vision and by focusing on what's called the physical nature of light. And when we talk about the neuroscience of vision, vision is the ability to detect different wavelengths of light. And light serves two very important functions on Earth, is that it serves as a source of energy, and all organisms will absorb light at different extents to provide that source of energy for different biological functions. And light also serves as an important source of information, and that allows the organism to navigate the physical environment. One specific application of, of the biological use of light is green algae. And this particular one here, you can see at the bottom right hand corner, um, is a single cell eukaryotic organism. And it's a photosynthetic organism that's found in ponds and lakes. And this particular organism contains chloroplasts. And they're portions of these cells that will gather and absorb light. And it does so through what's called an eye spot or a light sensor. Now, we ask the question, what is light? Light is specifically electromagnetic radiation coming from the sun. Now, we also have artificial sources of light with lamps and light bulbs and flashlights and things like that. But specifically, when we talk about natural light, this is the energy coming from the sun, and that energy is in the form of nuclear reactions driven by fusion. So, just some basic facts here with respect to the sun and the earth. The distance, as you can see here, is anywhere between 140, estimated to be about 150 million kilometers. And the light travels to the earth as an electromagnetic wave and travels at, of course, the speed of light, which is 1.1 times 10 to the 9 kilometers per hour. So very fast transmission, but given the distance, it takes about 8 minutes for light for the energy emitted by the sun to reach Earth. And on the bottom right hand corner, here we see a small depiction of those fusion reactions where the two fuels here, deuterium and tritium, are reacted together in terms of their nuclei, are brought together in fusion, and then will break apart and be converted to helium, will release a neutron, and will emit tremendous amount of energy, and that energy travels to the Earth. Now, the manner in which that energy travels is as an electromagnetic wave. And there are two unique aspects to that wave. Waves are quantified and characterized by both their wavelength and the frequency, and both of these are inversely related. So, if a particular wave has a relatively long wavelength, it has a lower frequency. And that's depicted here in the upper right hand corner. Here we see two different waves. This one, the purple one here, is characterized as having a wavelength of 400 nanometers. The one on the bottom here is stretched out, and the distance between two successive points on this wave is 700 nanometers. But in this given period of time, we have one, two, three, four, five waves where we have one, two, and maybe three here. We can add these two on the right and the left. So we have a lower frequency wavelength, a lower frequency wave that has the longer wavelength in the red. And the wave has two characteristic aspects to it. The traveling wave possesses a magnetic field as well as an electric field, and both uh, occur at right angles to each other as that wave travels from the sun to the earth. And the wavelength is depicted here as the distance between the two peaks of the magnetic field. We could also do the same thing with the two respective aspects on the same point with the electric field. Now, the waves coming from the sun do have various lengths and frequencies, and that's captured in what's called the electromagnetic spectrum. And the electromagnetic spectrum is a range of characteristic waves from gamma rays out to radio waves on the right-hand side. So, in terms of vision, uh, the human organism is able to detect what's called visible light. And that visible light, as you can see on this wide spectrum, uh, is somewhere between ultraviolet and near infrared radiation, but within a very, very narrow range of this very long spectrum here. And that visible light, as you can see, ranges from the short wavelengths out to long wavelengths between approximately 400 and 700 nanometers, and those wavelengths give rise to different colors. So on the right-hand side, we see 700 nanometer. That is inversely related to the frequency. So these are low frequency. This is the low frequency spectrum of visible light, and the low frequency gives rise to relatively low energy. High frequency waves is associated with waves that possess high energy. So the electromagnetic spectrum here is particularly that with visible light gives a much better understanding of how humans are able to detect one color from another color. So this ends our first video here on the physical nature of light.